Judd Trump and John Higgins have played each other on 33 occasions, winning every major honour with one exception, the Tour Championship. It's eluded them both in its short history. While Judd has never made it to the final, the Wizard of Wishaw came runner-up to Neil Robertson in 2022 after blowing a 9-4 lead. One of these players will take a giant step towards rectifying that stat tonight. Ready to take you through the opening 4 frames this evening are Alan McManus and Phil Yates. But first, to introduce the players, here's our MC, Tahir Hajat.
Thanks, Jill. Packed to the rafters here at the Telford International Centre. Welcome to the sportsbet.io Players' Championship! Now, we all needed a little bit of respite after last night's action. Both frames going the distance. Now we're ready to see who will face Kyron on Sunday in the final. Both players entering the arena know exactly how to win this tournament. So let's welcome to the bays the 2021 Players Champion. It's the Wizard of Wishaw, John Higgins. His opponent is one of only 2 players to win this tournament twice. It's the ace in the pack, Judd Trump!
Judd, it's your choice. Your choice. Your choice.
This is a compelling generation game. In one corner, a decorated veteran stubbornly raging against the dying of the light. In the other, the current top dog.
The first frame. Judd Trump's a break.
For him, the highlights shine brightest. 98 pro titles combined. Scotland versus England. 2 former world champions, 1 mouth-watering semi-final. Alan, I'm sure you agree.
Oh, yeah, thanks for that intro, Phil. This has got all the makings, we think anyway, and let's hope it transpires that it's similar.
I'll mention it. I'll mention it before you
to what we had last night.
Could you just check the volume on your headsets for me, please? We can hear it in the arena.
Yeah, it's a huge challenge for John. You always get a feeling coming into big semi-finals, who's the favourite, who's not. It feels like Judd is the man in possession of that mantle at the moment, but tonight is another night.
Yeah, recent history tells us don't crown the king yet. Although there's a temptation to do so.
Yeah, terrific opening pot.
At the World Grand Prix in Hong Kong, Trump was absolutely outstanding in beating Hossein Vafai in the quarterfinals 5-0, a whole host of breaks. And then in the semi-finals, he went 5-1 down to Stuart Bingham, eventually lost 6-3.
7.
Outstanding, that's a word to describe the way he played against Sean Murphy, of course it is. But you never know. You never know whether Higgins can up the game, whether Trump might struggle a little.
13.
Yeah, Judd so far
14.
in this championship, 12 frames won, 8 of those in a single visit. John, on the other hand, just 3 of his 12 by single visit. So that has to improve on John's side, obviously.
$90.
That said, though, Alan, the bookmakers believe Trump is a red-hot favourite. Basically around 1-3, whereas John Higgins can be had it 9-4. For him, that's a very big price.
$20.
There's the first glimpse of that power. Lovely shot to somehow get above the blue line.
$25. $26.
That was a terrific shot. He almost created an angle that kind of wasn't there.
$34. $41. $42.
He made the balls talk against Sean Murphy on a table that
49.
wasn't as conducive to heavy scoring as this one.
$50.
Yeah, did well to get the cue ball off the cushion. He will play this right-handed.
57.
Get the cue ball out into the open as much as possible. Just a hint. Side on it, perhaps. He's going deep, maybe. Yeah. Oh,
58.
wow, that's... I mean, talking about forcing an angle, that definitely wasn't there. With the opposite hand as well. Yeah. Nicely done again.
65. $66.
I think the right-handed shot to drop on the black in that manner was the best opposite side shot I've ever seen Trump play.
There it is, frame one. Not even 8 minutes in.
73.
And it's in the books already. Yeah, just talking to me. Stephen's right. I mean, Judd's a far more cultured player than just a power merchant, but 4 times already in this break, his power has come to the fore. It's been a sensational start and a statement frame almost from Trump.
80.
But he won't drop concentration. He continues to be motivated because he wants the 100 centuries this season and the £100,000 bonus that goes with it.
87.
This would be his 90th. The target getting ever closer.
88. $95. 96.
90 shots there, Alan. All business.
$104.
Yeah, just looking at some of the faces around the arena as he knocked in the century ball. I say, not even 10 minutes in, he's got them in the palm of his hands already.
110. 112. 115. 119.
As John Higgins said in his interview, Trump is the man in an era when the standard overall has never been better. This is the 20th century of this tournament, and it's only the start of the 14th match.
130. Well, John Higgins said
130. It was a statement frame, as Alan said. It was a loud hailer. I'm here. Try beating me. This is Judd Trump's 68th ranking event semi-final. He's looking for his 49th final. Only in his mid-30s. He's in the prime of his career. Tonight, though, he's up against an all-time great, who clearly will have to play great to stand any chance.
Foul. The miss. John Higgins 4.
Well, the folly of flicking the yellow. I suppose it second prize for Judd. He's given. Well, he's given John a, yeah, and back it goes. I mean, it's also an indication that John's not that prepared to push the boat out. take on the straight red to corner. I know the black's not on, but you know, again, he doesn't have the power of Judd back for blue or bottle colour. This is one of these ones where, and we can put the trust in Judd that he won't play the shot until he feels it's exactly as it was.
I thought you get it that knuckle, the right hand knuckle with the cue ball. Yeah? I can check it if you want. Yeah? Ollie, can we just check it, please?
Rob Spencer, the referee, asking his marker Olivier Martial for video guidance.
It's a fraction forward to me. Yeah, it's bang on.
Okay, yeah. I'll re-spot the yellow, because obviously you hit the yellow, it could be that. All right.
Yeah, whatever way this goes here, it's basically we put our trust in Judd, which he's beyond reproach in that sense.
Well, I could see that red, but obviously I did hit the yellow. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, yeah, John? Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Ollie.
Yeah, he couldn't see this one, so there you go, raising the butt, has to swerve it. And he's actually, in some sense, playing this because he doesn't want to. Oh, that's a brilliant shot. Yeah, very good. He didn't want to play the original shot because if he plays it correct, it could be, oh, he had the cue ball a little further to the right than it was, all that. Not a bit of it. He solved the problem by playing a different one.
Foul and a miss. John Higgins, 4. Yeah, sure, yeah. Ollie, can we just check that I've got the line, it's just the distance from the...
Back to you. And a fraction to the right. Yep.
Okay.
It's good.
Right. Okay.
It might seem a laborious process, this, but certain replacements, you have to be bang on.
Foul and a miss. John Higgins, 4.
Yeah, here comes the warning.
Yeah, John? Judd, if I have to call and miss as a result of the stroke, I'll award the frame to your opponent, okay?
Just to have made another point, Trump would have loved to bury that red he attempted there, but those kind of shots are so difficult. That's why he didn't attempt it for the first 2 shots.
One.
Now can Higgins make his presence felt?
Seven.
Yeah, that in some way scuppers John's plans there. They would dearly have loved the pink on the middle spot.
Eight.
The ball colours are all fine and dandy, but these players do not want all three high-value colours awkward. In the case of pink and black right now, out of the reckoning.
11.
That was a bad shot by John not to leave this red straighter. I mean, it was a good piece of cueing, but almost too good. Yeah, he's going to have to spin round 2 or 3 cushions to look for the half ball angle.
12.
He's played that nicely. Very nicely. Okay, the brown's an option, but as Phil said, nothing doing down this end in terms of scoring, so he may feel yellow with pace. Yeah, sticking to the game plan.
Sixteen.
Yeah, the trouble is he's got something to work with, but of course he's got to get the black moving. Otherwise it's end of break.
70.
Maybe with a trace of left-hand side.
Yellow ball. John Higgins, 70.
He was hoping the black was possible. He went round for more than one look, but in the end, he was prudent.
Left this red on, I think, because John's got interest in the black there. There we go. A mini mistake, can John make him pay?
One.
Worth remembering, Higgins has encountered
8.
Trump at full force and still prevailed. That famous Shanghai Masters final of 2012, Trump raced into a 7-2 lead. Higgins in the end won turn 9.
Nine.
Yeah, that plant looks inviting into the same pocket.
60.
Perhaps it's not on, perhaps it's spoiled by the other one. It doesn't go, actually, so
70.
it'll be the cannon.
$24.
With cue ball and object ball so close together, very easy to misjudge the potting angle. It went in very cleanly.
$30. $32.
Yeah, that's gone badly wrong, so it's just going to be, well, black or probably brown to side cushion. The problem with that shot, it's such a touch shot and difficult to get the cue ball low. That's what he was looking for, the low black. You just hit it a fraction thin, you just completely lose the cue ball.
Round ball. John Higgins, 32.
It is a substantial lead considering the awkwardness of yellow, brown and blue. It's the reputation of Trump that will mean Higgins is still far from secure. Look what happened when Trump played another Scottish opponent in the semi-final of the Players' Championship in 2020 in Southport. He beat Stephen Maguire 6-5, the clearance to win it 70 from 48-0 down, 49-0 down actually to be precise. Was one of the best we've ever seen. So Higgins will not be complacent in any way.
Yeah, this plant's on. John's the kind of guy that is very good at offset plants. It's super risky, but he may feel he has no other option. It is on. It's almost like to cut the red quite thin, and he should make it. But it's risky. It's one of those, if you can imagine, that the red that he's maybe going to hit, you try to cut it onto the red on the end cushion. That would be the kind of line to get the offset pot. There you go, no problem.
One.
It's just understanding what the shot does and why it does it. You see, it's set to the left jaw there, but he offset it. Beautifully worked out and played. And this should be frame ball.
Eight.
And one more ball to make absolutely sure.
Nine.
This from Higgins, you have to say, Alan, encouraging.
Foul. John Higgins 9. Judd Trump 6.
That wasn't encouraging, it was extraordinary.
I'm actually not that surprised. Something the cue that John's using, it gives him more spin on the cue ball, and he will do that now and again. Thankfully, he still has, you know, quite a few points to play with, but maybe not for long. Here's Judd. He's going to hopefully make John sweat for this one. You see, look at the grab on it.
You have to say, Trump is still light years away from winning this frame, but
8.
imagine if he did. Higgins would be crushed. So 56 points the difference, 51 on the table, 2 snookers.
Nine. 60. 70.
Yeah, now Judd would dearly love to send the red up behind blue-brown, but I don't know if he has that option. It's a wee bit straight,
20.
I think. See, it was just going up table a bit on the straight side for that.
Judd Trump, 23.
I'm sure Trump wasn't expecting any kind of misjudgment there, but there might be tougher snookers to escape from down the line. Higgins should have wrapped this up already.
One. Seven. Judd Trump, 7. I'm all right, John, thank you.
Because of his potting and break building and attacking snooker, I think Trump's ability to lay snookers is often overlooked. It's right up there with the very best.
Foul. Judd Trump, 4.
Yeah, trouble for John defending this, the way the balls are. Judd has options at either end of the table. Yeah, it's a smart shot. You either try to get in behind one of these or you outside chance of flicking the black safe. Good effort. But here's another chance for Judd. There's no double kiss on, sending the yellow up and down. I mean, it's a devil's own job to get in behind the blue, but if he does, it'll be a difficult hit. I'm a wee bit surprised he played it that way. Because now John will. least attempt to.
The frame won't die.
Yes, in actual fact, it's John that's under pressure. He's got to put a stop to this frame. Second prize. Yeah. Very little helps, but yeah, John just struggling to put the final nail in this frame.
Another chance to do so. If Higgins gets the yellow, it's back to 2 snookers needed. First frame was over in a flash. Second frame, a 30-minute marathon.
Two. John Higgins, 2. And the frame.
This time, Trump remains seated. This is a clash of styles, and we've seen 2 radically different frames so far. They have eventually
please.
Telford International Centre and the second semi-final of
you.
what's
The
been a
third frame.
vintage Players' Championship.
To break.
Karen Wilson already through to the climax of the tournament tomorrow. But who will provide the opposition there? Absolutely full house, by the way, fitting for the occasion.
Oh dear. a shot that was. I was just thinking as well, you know, John did well at early stages of that frame, previous one. You know, you don't want to deliberately engage in long safety battles. Of course you don't, but it is a way that, you know, one way that John can blunt Judd tonight. Of course, I know you've got to score. That's what this game's all about. But you know, if you can take the sting out of Judd for 2 frames here and there, then that'll help him.
And when it comes to containment, Higgins is one of the all-time greats.
Judd's safety play is relentless, though. It's such a fascinating contest with these two.
Higgins knows it's not advisable to get into a slugfest with Trump. They played in that 2019 World Championship final, which was, in terms of standard, the best ever at the Crucible. Higgins made 4 centuries and lost. Trump made 7.
Yeah, that's what's kind of meaning about blunting Judd, just for a period of time. You know, take the sting out of the match. Not for long periods, just for, here and there. And all right, Judd may have gotten away with this one. We'll find out in a few seconds. But that's what John's looking for. It's the odd mistake, having blunted Trump. May well be the case that he couldn't quite get to the pot there, having missed it so thin.
One.
Quintessential shot to nothing, although with Trump sometimes shots to nothing end up being something. Not here though.
Green ball. Just Trump 1.
John turned away as if, ooh, I've done it again, because he's expecting Judd to make this swerve. Very difficult shot. But made to look easy.
Whoa.
And perfectly on the black as well. John's fears were justified.
Yeah, fancied him to make the shot, and of course the side he had to apply meant the cue ball came wide, and as Alan said, position on the black, and off he goes. Knocked out of rhythm in that scrappy second frame. He'll want to get back to the fluency he showed in the first.
Nine. Brown ball.
The revs he gets on the ball so easily, and that's with reverse side, that shot. He makes it look so simple, and it's not.
$14. $20. $21. $26. $27.
There's a loose one. Will he be brave enough to play the pink? Yeah, perhaps he just concentrated fractionally more on the pot. The pink is super thin. Yeah, green's no good. It's either yellow or bust.
When these two played each other in the 2011 World Final, Trump would have taken on this yellow. These days, he's not a raw talent, he's the finished product. Saw more value in the pink.
Judd Trump.
because of that.
27.
Apparently, Alan, that was his first miss with the rest of this tournament, but I think, considering the difficulty, we'll give him a pass.
One.
Yeah, we must give him a pass on that. Also, his right arm was compromised with the yellow there just underneath it.
Seven. Eight.
Last night, our colleague David Hendon remarked on the intensity out there between Wilson and Robertson, quite rightly. It's the same vibe here, pre-interval.
Can John avoid contact with the black when potting this red? It's one of those, you can either play it with top or bottom, obviously, but either way, it's not easy to avoid that contact. That could be the spoiler.
$15.
He got just a fraction of it, and it has spoiled position. You're trying to go around 3 cushions between green and brown. Holding it, sorry. Oh, it's nicely done using that top bump of the middle pocket.
21.
Stephen said that the start tonight felt so important for John, but he's now in the match, isn't he? So he can just press on, maybe start producing something like his best form. Yeah, just the odd miss in there.
21.
Now, this kind of shot, okay, the red's close to the pocket, but very easy to hit this too thick, especially using the rest.
Thank you.
Yeah, good call, Phil.
Getting cover on the open red was essential.
He might almost play a kind of 2-in-1 shot, the cross double, to either have a chance of getting the pot or shifting that red near the right corner. He can inject quite a bit of pace in it as long as he plays it with check side. He didn't get either of them. Does he have the cover? Not this time.
If you're buzzing, that shot is mighty tough. If you've been embroiled in a couple of disjointed frames, even more so.
One.
Yeah, this is the snooker shot to play. The blue is on, he's got something to work with, but John knows in his heart of hearts that the pink's the proper snooker player's shot. He played it lovely, actually. Well, that's a wee bit unfortunate. He's got the wrong contact.
7. Eight.
Yeah, that was a beautiful shot. Now, what does he favour? Middle or far corner?
Higgins trying so hard to build momentum.
Thanks, John.
Again, it's just the odd mistake, and this red
John
looks
Higgins,
on for
40.
Judd. Far from easy.
One.
the last couple of frames,
3.
reminding us that even for the greats, sometimes the balls don't cooperate.
Ball.
But as he so often does, Trump refusing to leave the table. When it comes to recovery pots, there's no one better.
Eight. Nine.
Just taking a glance at the scoreboard.
60.
They are all there. No problems.
17. $23. 25. 28.
He made 130 break in the first frame.
32.
But winning the third, I think, will give him just as much satisfaction, maybe even more.
$37. 43. Good Trump 43.
The runaway well number one back in front, and he is determined to stay there. 2-1 for the interval in this semi-final of the Players' Championship, and you can't help but think it is a massive frame for both players. Higgins, his scoring has been constrained, to say the least. 32 is high break.
Thank you. The fourth frame. John Higgins to break.
But if he can tuck this frame away, he will go into the interval with cause for optimism. Stephen Hendry said at the start of our programme that he thought John Higgins needed to inject some pace into his game. 32 seconds average shot time, but he's not having quality table time, that's the thing. Maybe he can put that to rights here. Alan, it's a word I've very rarely used to describe John Higgins, but I think it applies this evening. He's tentative.
One.
Yeah, I tend to agree, Phil. You've got to be honest in your assessment. And sometimes the best way to grasp something is to let go. And John just can't let go of the tension in the shoulders, and you know, even there you see him with the mouth closed and not relaxed. Not yet, anyway. Judd, on the other hand, you know, sweeping these long reds in and other shots. He's the one that looks the more likely.
6. 7.
And he can read the room. He knows exactly what we know. What everybody here knows. That John Higgins, yes, he's desperately trying to be the John Higgins we know and admire so much, but so far it's not been forthcoming.
$13. 14. Cheers, Judd, thanks. $90. 20. 26. 27.
Okay then, so high of straight on the red, bring the black into play. That's perfect. Don't want to push the red too far, the cannon red. You don't want to, you just want to push it halfway to the cushion.
34. $40. 42.
going to be after.
49.
Screw shot into the pack off this red, one would think. Might as well do it with another red in the open.
50.
He might not go full pace. Maybe just meet them and jag the cue ball back towards him with that loose red potentially on. Let's see which way he plays this. Yeah, see that? Screw, but not with full power. And the parting of the Red Sea, in a sense, isn't it? Yeah, there you go.
57.
There's so much power behind the shot itself.
$58.
It's like he hits such a heavy cue ball. It's like a cannonball going into them. So, blue for 63. One more red in high value.
$63.
And regardless of form
64.
or not, in John's case, he's playing against the machine of a snooker player in every department. And Judd Trump tonight.
$69.
Not his best effort, that. Wants one more red to wash away any possibility of this being stolen. And of course he wants another century. Trump's appetite
70.
for those insatiable.
$75. $76. $83.
We've seen a variety of snooker in this mini session. But with Trump,
84.
a sizable break is never far away.
$90. $91. $98. $99.
Again, this black will be entirely commercial.
$108.
So 91 centuries for the season.
$111.
It's an extraordinary number, Alan.
Yeah, it is. I mean, again, look at the cue ball. spinning around the
150.
houses, just every department. John hasn't been able to put any pressure on Judd.
120.
I don't know if that would make any difference, even if he did, mind you, the way this fella's playing.
126. Well, John Higgins 7.
Judd Trump has won his 11 most recent ranking event meetings with John Higgins. Now he's well on the way to a deadly dozen. Judd Trump 3, John Higgins 1.
Judd Trump is halfway to another Players' Championship final, but we've seen John Higgins battle his way back into contention already this week. Can he do it again? Taking you through to the conclusion of the match, Neil Foulds and David Hendon are in the commentary box. But first, to reintroduce the players, here's our MC, Tahir Hadjat.
Snooker fans, please welcome back into the arena John Higgins, Judd Trump, and your referee, Rob Spencer.
Well, 3-1 isn't a huge lead, but John Higgins clearly has struggled
The fifth frame.
for fluency.
Judd Trump to break.
Highest break just 32. Judd Trump the opposite, 2 centuries so far. Higgins has lived a charmed life in this tournament. He could easily have lost to Chris Wake, then surely should have lost to Zhao Guodong. So, although he is a heavy second favourite right now, let's see. Needs to start scoring, needs to maybe up the pace a bit as well. And the thing is, these days, even scrappy frames, Trump is really adept at winning those as well as the scoring side. So it does feel a tall order, but still pressure on Trump to get this one and set up what would be a real mouth-watering clash with Karen Wilson.
Yes, I mean, it is 3-1. There's lots of snooker to be played, but you felt that maybe during the course of frame 3, John Higgins missed a trick in not winning that frame and getting in front, changing the kind of early storyline of the frames. Interesting shot to play the pot. You might have thought that the cuber would come round and cover the red with the bunch, as often happens on that shot. The fact is, he hit the green ball and, as you can see, left it on.
One. Six.
John just looking at what happens to the black spot, whether if you can pop the black to right corner, whether it's on its spot now or it'll have to go somewhere up the table.
Seven.
Clearly, with the green spot free, that's a possible. It won't go behind its own spot, or question of whether it goes on it. There it is, it goes. The red will certainly pop next to it. He might be looking to pick the pace up, actually. John, as we heard in the studio, 32 seconds a shot. Sometimes the two things go hand in hand, though, don't they? If you're not playing well and getting good chances, your average shot time will slow down.
40.
John starts to play better, surely it'll just speed up anyway.
Yeah, just needs to start scoring. Easy to say that, but he will know as well. He said in the interview with Abby, didn't he, before the match, he knew he had to up his game. He hasn't yet. So this is where it's got to start, really, right now in this frame. Try and put Judd Trump under a bit of pressure this evening.
$22. $23. $30. $31.
The same story here with the pink, which he might want away from its own spot if that's possible. I'm not sure where the pink spot is. It might be that it's covered. That way the red on the left will be more accessible, left of the bunch. So highest available the green, so that puts the pink out of harm's way, I think, for the moment.
37.
Goodness me,
38.
that is so unlike John, that last shot. That's dreadful by his high standards. I mean, I thought he might just play up on the blue anyway to give himself the angle to go into the reds. That shot, goodness, what on earth was he thinking of there? He can recover it, but he'll need to. To pop this around a couple of cushions from the side rail at some degree of pace is not easy. No, he's done well. He's done really well there to recover it, because he must have been annoyed with the previous shot still.
45. $46.
It's the only option he had was the left-hand red, just slightly detached from the bunch to left middle, but it's becoming more difficult this break now.
53.
There are plenty of points left if Judd Trump ever gets back to the table.
$54.
It's a very good shot. And just bringing one more red out into the game. He'll still need a bit more than black, red, whatever colour he takes, because of the other reds which are kind of in the bunch still, but he's doing well here. It's a lot better so far. So now his attention will be, how does he get
into the 6 reds.
61.
And he'll need one of those once this one is potted. So there's still more to be done. The bottom red of the half a dozen, from where he's queuing up, might be pottable to right corner. So he's looking 3 shots ahead.
$62.
Just almost from a very precise place, I think, is where that red will pot. Any errors either side, it might not be available to him.
$69.
It's a little bit tight. Oh, this is much better from Higgins. 1 or 2 little bumps in the road in this break, but he's kept it alive from that early shot that Judd Trump played, which he probably has had plenty of time to regret. The long red he tried to roll into the green pocket, which stayed over the hole, allowed John this.
Well, this is exactly what Higgins needed. He'll need more of it. It's only 1 frame, but it's a complete sea change from what we saw
77.
before the interval.
$78.
And that's been certainly true of Higgins the whole tournament. Even when he's been struggling, the intensity has never dropped. Saw how much both wins so far have meant to him. So can he make what would be his first century of the tournament?
83.
And still a chance to make the highest break of the tournament, which is currently 139. Trump
84.
and Mark Selby.
Well, it's just the spark he needed. Just winning the frame in one way or another might not have been enough to inspire him, but I think this break might have done.
92.
Well, he
99.
needed improvements, my word. This is certainly an improvement. This for his first century of the tournament.
100.
Just sending a little message to Judd Trump. This is far from over.
Yes, of course, he could have played to nudge the red out there. He had the perfect angle, but it's more controlled, I think, the way he has played it, although just a little bit of a cut back here.
John Higgins, 107, and the frame.
He's not made the highest break of the tournament, but it's a very important one for him in this match. 107 from John Higgins. That's more like it from the 4-time world champion. 22 centuries in the tournament. The record 30 in the Players' Championship 2021. That was the year, of course, Higgins basically destroyed the field. He only lost 4 frames all week. He's already lost 13 this year, but he's still very much in this tournament after that last frame. Not just winning it, but how he won it. course, that win 4 years ago that I mentioned in this tournament for Higgins was actually his last ranking event victory until just a few weeks ago when he won the World Open. It had been a quite frustrating 4 years. But now his world ranking really, he's kind of sorted out for the next couple, isn't it? With the huge injection of points, be in that top 16 a little while longer.
Yeah, there's been a bit of a role reversal as well, hasn't there, in his fortunes since that World Open and during it. You know, a lot of the matches he lost previously, he was in front and gave away a big lead, but he came from behind a number of times. He did it in the previous round here against Xiao Guodong. Matches that he would have been perhaps losing previously, he's now winning. I mean, of course, the good snooker from John Higgins will speak for itself, but it's the matches where you maybe, you know, get into a close scrap. He'd been losing some of those. Seems to have found a new way of winning them. He's in a bit of trouble here. He's got access to the right-hand red at the top. But what he does with it, I don't know. He could pot it, obviously. He's not going to do that unless he's got nothing. But he can't really get to anything else. The yellow's covering the left side of the table. So it looks as if he'll try the two-cushion glance thin off the reds. Sometimes the player will miss this first time, almost trying to get a guide as to the line that needs to be taken. Well, John has... Well, he hasn't missed it. Goodness me, that looked in, didn't it, all the way? It's a bit unlucky, I think, there, you know, to leave that over the middle pocket. Red usually would end up in a fairly safe place, but of course he would have left the other one anyway. So Judd with an early chance, having sat out a century.
One.
Yeah, this kind of looked in, didn't it, on contact?
It's a game of such fine margins at the highest level, isn't it? You know, that goes in and who knows where John could have taken it. Now he's given an early chance. And it could be a totally different frame as the red either does or doesn't drop.
6.
Judd
7.
now getting onto the black. Possibility of just clearing that area. If he's got an angle on the black to do so, move the reds just above it. That was a little straight for that, but he'll be certainly looking to do so.
$40. 50. 22. 23. 28. 29.
Yes, if he had been straight on that red, he could have just run it through onto the black again. He just got into the cue ball too much there. He's on the blue, but not quite perfectly. Just a bit thinner in contact than he wanted. Now, how does he control the cue ball for the next red here? Might have to play a little nudge. Well, he's avoided that. But that side of the table, it's not so easy to get on a red. He's on this one straight. That's a real handy place to finish. I thought last night's semi-final was absolutely terrific. Karen Wilson and Neil Robertson put a real show on, didn't they? Great game. Yeah, this one's got the potential to go the same way, I think. There he is, the man who won, the world champion.
He's surely watching this. Or certainly keeping an eye on it. Had a few meetings, interesting ones with Trump this season. 3 victories for Wilson, 1 for Trump in the campaign.
That's a good shot as well, isn't it? The real hard stun to take the other red away and land on the one that he's on. It was really well played, actually. More evidence, I think, of that real whip in the Judd Trump cue action, the cue speed he gets. Very nice.
Just a little short here. Just when it was looking pretty golden chance to kill the frame off.
50.
Yeah, and there's 2 reds that went, so he had more room to go up the table. So that possibilities of now this becoming an awkward shot.
51.
He kind of wanted to put it into that thick side of the pocket, actually, to avoid hitting too many of the reds. But it was a touch and go, as you saw. Anyway, down the right side of the table, he's got a choice of a couple of reds here.
$56.
Gone a little too far for the one by the pink and not quite far enough for the one on the right of shot. So he's a little bit between. Can pot either, but neither shot is simple. See that big area, just the one place he's landed is not great.
$57.
Can be a feature of Trump's game, this, for all the breaks he's made, and he's made so many. Sometimes he does have to sort of just roam around a little to recover things, but of course he's capable of doing that. He's such a great potter.
Blue ball.
Yeah, there's like a different kind of artistry in his break build to an O'Sullivan type, isn't it? Who beautiful touches and classical break builder of the highest quality. Judd is doing it in his own way. And again, not quite in position. Running up the table for blue or pink, you would say. He really wants to play that straightish red through the gap. I'm not sure that it's on. Don't think that one is available to pot.
$63.
A little bit more to do. Colour, if it's a low value colour, which it probably is going to be, and then another red. The very fact he never got on blue or pink means there's just a bit extra to be achieved.
66.
Well, it's been an adventure, this. It started to go wrong when he just lost ideal position on a red, but he's kept it going, and this red should make it 4-2 to Judd Trump. These could have been John Higgins's, couldn't they? He nearly fluked that red to middle, but left it in the jaws, and Trump has done the rest.
It's true, though, isn't it? When position breaks down, the shots become more difficult, pressure builds, and often a break will end. But in this case, it hasn't. It's just kept going.
75.
And we know what's on his mind now. A third century of the night. It would be a 92nd of the season. Well, they're short again.
He's miles short, Dave, isn't he? As if the
80.
cushion there wasn't really doing anything. I mean, I can't believe how far short he's finished. Now he's going to cut the right-hand red in. The cue ball's going to be going all around the angles, unless he plays a double or something else. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That is a fantastic shot. He seemed to be walking as if he thought it was in straight away, nonchalantly. I mean, you surely can't be sure of knocking those in. Now he's got to get up the table again.
88.
I want to see this century made, and I'm sure a lot of people do here tonight.
Not to be.
88.
Just one shot too many. So he hasn't added to his centuries tally, but 88 for Judd Trump. His two-frame lead restored.
Judd Trump to break.
Judd Trump was delighted that he was able to keep that break going to win the frame, but then disappointed not to make another century. But it's 4-2. If he reaches the final, I think we can say he'll have more than enough frames guaranteed to play to get to 100 centuries. The best of 19 tomorrow, at least one best of 19 at the Tour Championship, and at least one at the World Championship. And you suspect a lot more frames as well, so 9 more centuries to the 100. But right now, the target is to get into that final here.
Yes, he'd be bitterly disappointed, Dave, if he wins tonight and only plays 3 more best of 19s this season, wouldn't he? It means he'd have lost them all.
One.
That's very good. That's good. This match has really livened up. It was pretty good before the big session. There was 1 or 2 frames that were fairly lengthy, a half an hour and a 27-minute frame, but things have really warmed up now. Higgins has got better. And that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's changed it. John Higgins, as you say, has got better. I mean, you can't really say he did much wrong in the last frame. OK, caught the red thick, but, you know, then didn't get another shot. But praying before he made a century. Can he win another close contest here this week? He's won 2 deciders already.
9.
Yeah, that's the point I was making, wasn't it? All those close matches he lost, even as recently as the Masters, 5-1 up against Neil Robertson, who wasn't even in it originally. It's a bit of a distant memory now because the close matches have gone his way recently.
60.
Looking to reach what would be a 58th ranking event final. That would actually put him second overall on that list behind Ronnie O'Sullivan on 64. Just extraordinary longevity. It was 30 years and 4 months between winning his first ranking title in 1994 and his most recent just a few weeks ago.
$17.
That's okay. He didn't want to play that red. He felt that he had to get the cannon right, but the red he looks at after it, below the bunch, was awkward cueing. Likely to play up on the blue here. Always get a little excited when reds and blacks are potted early in a break. Here he be looking to secure a way of winning the frame, or is he playing on the pink? No one knows better than John that for all your safety and your nous around the table, tactical awareness, to beat someone as good as Judd Trump, you have to score heavily. It's as simple as that. The rest of it plays a part, but not. That's not going to beat this man. It's weight of scoring that might do it.
Yeah, it's really just keeping Judd Trump away from the table, isn't it?
32.
Higgins made 4 centuries in that World Final that he lost to Trump in 2019. Trump made 7.
Occasionally he just gets hold of the cue ball more than he expects. It's the ball's width further to the right. He wanted to be straight on the red. Sometimes just decided he's almost hitting the ball a little too well, timing it. Didn't want that cue ball to rush across, because now the natural angle takes him in towards the black here. It was a sort of a mic, but he's just got to put it right. He just about got there. A little close for comfort.
$39. 46. 47.
Well, he had choices there. One was to go into the reds above the black.
54.
The 4 reds there, but he tried to just slip the cue ball, I think, in behind those 2 reds to pop one in the right corner. And often the cannon would not result in finishing quite there anyway. He didn't mean to hit the reds, but most of the time, even if he did strike them, you know, he'd be on something. I don't think he's got any shot here. And at this level, he knows that from that visit where he got in with that great red, he probably had to win the frame.
John Higgins.
He's taken enough frames 54. Off opposition from this position. He knows. And that's an excellent safety shot this time from Trump. Now he's putting the pressure immediately back on Higgins here, cutting off the right side. Higgins taps the table, I think in slightly begrudging acknowledgement. It's a very handy lead, but by no means enough. The cue ball just shapes its way round and behind the green completely as played. Causes a headache or two for John. Well, it looks like he is considering going on the offensive here. Ah, that's magnificent. Whoa. Magnificent shot. Seems that this game, sometimes you can be in a little bit of trouble and your mind is made up. There's only one way out of it. It's to come out attacking. Great shot.
Six. Yeah, sure. Seven. Thank you.
Sometimes with the long stuff like that, you know, you don't have the same touch. You know, the extension on his cue, you don't feel quite the same. The cue feels a different weight. So the frame is not done. Surprisingly. Well, a little red in the colour, but it's John Higgins certainly is attacking nicely. I know he got out of position, but that blue was confidently played to recover.
Yeah, potting's not the issue, is it? It's actually just keeping better sort of position. He himself, many times from this position, if a chance has come when he's been behind, has cleared up to steal frames. He knows Trump can do the same.
He just needs one more red though, doesn't he? And the one in the middle is queuing over a ball directly. So this, again, is a missable shot that he's playing this red.
Well, it's been a bit of a tightrope walk, but John Higgins, as I say, he's potting some really good balls. He would rather be in ideal position all the time, but it's a bit like, in a way, the Trump break in the last frame. He's kept it going. Of course, this has been 2 visits. Trump hasn't done much wrong, really, in this frame. But he needs a snooker, and Higgins is on the next red.
15. Of
course, he's been around so long as a pro, 92-term pro, John Higgins. He's seen the game change at the top level, where heavy scoring has really become the thing. Stephen Hendry, of course, was really the start of that. But now more and more top players capable of
20.
making these frame-winning contributions. And there are matches where you don't have to do much wrong to be quite heavily beaten. Sean Murphy will tell you that the other night against Trump. But they're still
23.
going in here for John Higgins. He'll be feeling much better. He wasn't enjoying it early on. It was a struggle. And despite just a few hurdles to get over, he's back to within one again.
John Higgins, 23. And the frame.
So this match simmering along nicely. John Higgins looking good and trailing now just 4-3. Tonight at the Telford International Centre for the second semi-final of the Players' Championship. Of course, Kyron Wilson beat Neil Robertson in that classic last night, 6-5. And this is another close one. Judd Trump unable to pull away after the interval. He was 3-1 up, looking good. Higgins was struggling. John Higgins playing much better. And Trump is playing at the same level as well. So 4-3. Trump needs 2, Higgins needs 3. Whoever comes through, it's going to be, I'm sure, a memorable occasion here tomorrow as we find out who is crowned champion. And then, of course, we'll return to your screens a week on Monday, so the 31st of March, for the Tour Championship, the final leg of the Players' Series.
Thank you. The 8th frame. John Higgins to break.
That's the pot success since the interval. Higgins at 96% since they resumed. Trump at 93. Now, what damage has been done here?
Yeah, I mean, the left-hand red that was on the cushion is always in play on that shot because he can hit it on the way up. I didn't think Judd would, though. I felt that he would hit thin enough contact with the initial red to slide past the red. He's not left anything easy. I mean, that might look accessible, but it's a really tough shot. And of course the black not available to the opposite corner anyway. That might not be the answer. That red that's straight. You know, he may have got away with it completely here. John looking towards bulk. He's going to play safe. So he dodged one there, Judd Trump. Not one of John's finest. He's normally getting players bang underneath that bulk cushion.
John Higgins leading the applause for that one. Trump remains what he was when he first turned pro, a wonderful potter, but the tactical side, the safety side, the all-round game has just improved year on year.
he'd like to play that right-hand red, but he's directly over the green. To be underneath his cue on the shot, it would be an awkward way of playing it with that ball there. So I think another safety shot. If he can get the wide angle around to get in behind the green, he'd have to take the cue ball close to the left corner in doing so. Yeah, that's all he could do there. But it's not bad. That's, with the red scattered, you know, the route back to bulk is not always a simple one.
One.
Pretty apparent he was going for that until he deserves to be on something there. I think it was a bold shot. Yes, he wouldn't have known much about that series of kisses. But he's on pink to middle, and that will have certainly rocked the man in the chair, Judd Trump, seeing that go in and get position.
Yeah, I mean, there's 4 or 5 kisses there to land on the pink, but you can only do that if you pot the ball in the first place.
Seven. Eight.
So he's really upped his scoring since the interval. The century, he made the half century in the last frame, he completely dominated. And now this is another really good chance. John Higgins, who turned professional when he was 17. Judd Trump was 16. Today, a 14-year-old, Michael Shubacek from Poland, reached the European Amateur Final. And because Liam Highfield, who beat him in it, has already qualified for the tour, he's now eligible, the young lad, to turn pro. He would be the youngest ever if, you know, his parents feel that he should at this point.
60.
So well done to him, and he'll be gunning for some of these top stars in the years to come. One of a number of very talented youngsters emerging from the continent.
$23. 24.
Well, John has said this week, even when he struggled through matches, that he feels his game is there, his best game is there, which he hadn't displayed yet. But
30.
now maybe we are seeing the point he's been making, that his game is there and he's feeling good about it. He'd be the first to say if he wasn't, you know, feeling that he's able to do it, but he's saying that he can.
$31.
bit like the previous frame, every now and then it just goes wrong with position.
36.
And in that last frame, he managed to put it right, and he's got red up to the green pocket, top right, to do that here. But not much else, I don't think. Might have that red, or maybe a thin red to the left corner. Well, it's clearly not easy. There's red underneath his cue as well, which makes it a pretty horrible shot. Now he's looking at perhaps other alternatives. The red to the left of it, into the yellow pocket instead. Neither of which is how he planned it the shot before. The problem with this red he's looking at is the red underneath his cue. You can see that's definitely not helping, that one. He gave it his all though, didn't he? He looked at it. He was not rushed into playing the shot. He weighed everything up.
The latest in the series tonight, really good recovery pots from Higgins. Get in, someone shouted as it was heading towards the pocket.
For fear of repeating ourselves, you know, this is another shot where the cue ball is not under the usual control that we expect from John. He's on the red, but not straight as he would have wanted. I think he's just looking at whether he's got room to just get in behind the black to play it into the same pocket as the red. There's not a huge margin for error on that shot. That's a big one, isn't it? Does the black go? I don't think the answer is yes. Clearly, he's looking at a different ball. He'd be really annoyed here not to have won the frame at this visit. It's tight, isn't it? He doesn't think it does. He's looking at something else. You feel that the pressure is building in this break all the time. Something may have to give here.
Yeah, every time you think you've seen the biggest shot of the frame, it's replaced very quickly by another, even bigger one.
I'm glad he's having another look, because he looked away quickly. I think the black does go, in fact, but not to a full pocket. You could easily clip the red on the way through there, I think. I think it would go.
Yellow ball.
So, playing the percentages with the 43-point lead and looking for another chance to level the match.
Well, it's been a while, hasn't it, for Judd? 28 minutes. He sat and watched John win the last frame and go some way to taking this one as well.
Again, it doesn't feel like he's done that much wrong, really. It's been more good play from Higgins. It's not like Trump's been sort of missing sitters or anything.
He's left the red. It's not hanging over the pocket, and John, of course, will have to give it his full care and attention. It might be a route back into the frame for Judd, but otherwise, looks easy on that shot, but there's distance to cover for the cue ball.
One.
May not end up being a frame winner, though.
Well, it sort of sums up the week for Higgins. Everything is a big effort, and of course we know he's up to that effort, but he would like things to just be going a little more plainly than they are.
John Higgins won.
Yeah, I mean, I don't suppose he had to go for it, but you know, it's easy to say afterwards. He just wanted to be more attacking, but it's one of those shots you're more likely to go for 44 points behind maybe than 44 in front when you just don't need to play it.
So 31 minutes since Trump potted one, but that's in.
Yeah, that's all part of the game, Dave, isn't it? That you know, you have to sometimes sit out for long periods.
Well, like I say, he's not had much to go at, in fairness. Now, this is not straightforward, clearly, but having said that, the frame several times could have been over in the favour of Higgins.
Yes, he'll do well, I think, here. But, you know, certainly to clear up, that's quite something. The yellow and green are. But for now, I suppose it's a question of just getting, perhaps, using the blue and black with these reds to get back into the frame. Because it's actually proving to be a very important frame in this match.
7.
Put it this way, if Judd could take it, then it would give him a huge boost.
Yeah, comfortably the most pressure he's been under in the tournament. Of course, he beat Le Pei Fan 6-3, a match he never seemed likely to lose, and then the exhibition against Sean Murphy 6-0.
$30. 20. 20. 28. 29.
Well, the natural angle of the cue ball is towards the red and indeed the pink from this shot, playing plain ball. Oh, he's overcut it. He's overcut that,
Judd Trump.
surprisingly.
29.
He's not been missing blacks off the spot all week until now. He was thinking about the cue ball a bit, but I didn't expect the black. He missed it by quite a way.
Thanks.
Tensile frame them. At the moment, Higgins with 15-point lead wouldn't need the yellow as it stands right now.
I wonder if he'd be tempted here. The black just away from the pocket. He either can pop this red directly, which would be a great shot, and, you know, or off the black potentially. You know, it's something he's looked at. Well, it was not quite close enough to the edge of the black. He sort of hit quite a lot of the black ball then. It's just glancing blow off of it into the pocket.
One.
Yeah, as I say, that yellow that he put safe earlier at the moment he doesn't need, as long as he takes the requisite colours here. Brown would be a 20-point lead, so red and black, 28 with 27 on.
Yeah, once again finishing just about nowhere. I mean, if he's on the
5.
red straighter, then red-black, of course, is 28 in it, and it will go in there, but the fact that he's now looking at the potting angle suggests he didn't play on the red into that pocket in the first place, because he'd have known it went. Out of control here. It's not going in there, but
6.
It's not going to take a black with it. The pink, of course, is very handy to it if it goes in. Means only a respot is possible.
We saw one last night, of course, with Wilson and Robertson.
Yeah, I mean, it's not impossible. We could see another one here.
12.
Only the green ball is safe, and obviously the yellow's now going to be the ball on, so it's only one safe ball.
John Higgins,
using
12.
the big target of the pink and black. He might slightly overhit it. Yeah, Judd can get through, it seems. It's not been a classic frame in an otherwise very good match. This one, a really precious one for John Higgins if he could get over the line.
Yeah, I mean, what a week it's turning into for him. When he won this tournament 4 years ago, he just destroyed everyone. This has been hard fought all the way. But if he can pot this yellow, Trump needs a snooker. And barring that, it's 4-4.
So,
yeah, one snooker currently to tie. Say currently, of course, if he took it down to blue, pink and black, it would be 1 to win with a 5-point penalty.
John Higgins 2.
Cue ball had a little bit of fizz on it, which took it away from the snooker behind the pink and black there. It's not impossible that he could, if he got the chance, Trump pot the green and brown and try and get that snooker on the blue to make it that he could win, especially where the pink and black are. All of these things are tough to do, but it's not completely over this frame.
No, he did get a snooker successfully against Higgins, didn't he, early on in the match in frame 2. Albeit Higgins still won that frame. That was quite a lengthy affair as well. 31 minutes. This has been 26 already.
Well played. He wants to leave a gap behind the green if possible, and I think there's a gap that suggests the cue ball could go around the back of it, which kind of makes it not such a big target. You'd expect John to hit this, but you know, stranger things have happened. If he goes on the right cushion, he could go around the back of this.
That's what you call a handy result. It's a good hit, but he's got a snooker back. Well, one good pot now, and surely we're level. Not to be.
3.
Of course, the problem now is at one point the pink and black were close together, which is handy if you're trying to get a snooker. They've been broken up. So the balls aren't that great now. It's not so easy to get a snooker behind a ball that is somewhere in the middle of the table than one that's fairly close to a cushion without being on one.
7.
But it is now one snooker to win, but it would have to be a mighty good one for it to be sufficient for John to miss it.
Judd Trump 7.
Good effort, but not there.
Well, this is very shortly, in just a couple of seconds, going to be the longest frame of the night so far. I don't think Higgins would claim this has been one of his best performances tonight, but if he wins, it'll be one of his best victories for a while, because remember, Judd Trump in the last 11 meetings in world ranking events has won all 11. And he's played some terrific stuff himself. 2 centuries, Trump. Could have had a third in the 6th frame, broke down an 88.
And that surely is it now.
John Higgins showing true grit here this week, isn't he? What an effort. What a great
11.
champion he still is.
On the frame, John Higgins.
Still not at his very best, but my word, he's battling and he's got himself level. Another close contest here at the Players' Championship. They're all square. Let's turn this around. It's level at 4-4. As he comes back into the arena, he's won the second half-hour frame of the night. They were similar, really, both pretty scrappy. But crucially, he's won them both. So it's now a best of 3. Are we going to go the distance as we did last night? A different sort of match to the one between Karen Wilson and Neil Robertson, but it's become gripping drama once again here in Telford.
The 9th frame. Judd Trump to break.
And one thing that has happened, though, is that Judd Trump has been taken out of his stride a little bit. You know, the way he's been playing, just, you know, galloping through matches. But this is a different story now at 4 each. The Stings come out of the match. He's now got to dig deep if he's going to get it won against an opponent, yes, in the shape of John Higgins, who he's been beating. Of course, it wasn't always the case. John Higgins, in the earlier days of Judd Trump, was very often the winner when they played. But not so much in recent years, at all, in fact.
I actually think Trump has learned a lot playing Higgins, all those meetings, certainly early on, in terms of the other side of the game, the all-round game, which he's had to take on board himself, of course. Can the great man teach him a lesson here this evening? Didn't seem likely, you've got to say, at 3-1. He was struggling badly. But immediately came out the blocks, didn't he, with the century. That changed things in that 5th frame.
Well, he's left that red that's just to the left of the black. Not sure, there's certainly some of it appears to be sticking out. The potting angle, I think, is there. It's not a simple starter. Certainly the cue ball going up the table.
One.
A little bit of uncertainty, wasn't there, about what would happen with the cue ball, and it's not finished in a great spot. Yeah,
6.
another nudge. So difficult shot followed by difficult shot is the order of the day, it seems. Yes, the red is on. The cue ball goes into the bunch with no guarantees. So can he afford to take the risk and possibly let John in if he misses? I think he wants to play it. Just doesn't know what would happen to the cue ball exactly, and of course it's not as if you can say, right, roll the dice, the pot's easy. If he misses the pot, none of the position matters. There used to be a sort of a saying in snooker, I suppose it still exists, if you look at a pot for a long time and it was over a minute,
Your trump 6.
it's probably not the right shot to go for it. Probably the safety shot is best, because you haven't decided to pot it in that time. It's not worth it.
One.
Yeah, he's polished quite a few good long balls tonight. Now, can he, this time, he's got in, stay in nicely. He's been just struggling at times to keep ideal position.
Yeah, the problem continues, doesn't it, that Dave was saying. It's the yellow was not actually an easy shot to get across to the right of the table from the angle he had on it. So both players have had an opportunity which has not amounted to anything worthwhile.
Judd Higgins through.
Yeah, just has to keep his discipline. He's right back in it, of course. At 4-4. Certainly dented the momentum that Trump had. Trump catching the jaws here.
It's a bad misjudgment, you know, because when he was playing it, I thought, well, it looks, if he's playing the plain ball up and down, it does look like the cue ball has to go there, really, into the pocket or into the jaws of the pocket. Maybe just a loss of concentration on that safety shot, perhaps. I think it was mentioned commentary before the interval. I think Alan might have said it, but you know, John, you can just get the edge off of Judd's game, and I think he's achieved that part anyway. Whether that's enough for him to win the match, but he's certainly just taken the wind out of his sails a bit. We had a number of looks at the two reds there. I think it's whether the left-hand one goes, because the right-hand one clearly does, but that's queuing over the top of everything. If the left-hand red went, he could have got to it with queuing, but that doesn't look like it goes. So the mistake from Judd came to absolutely nothing. Become a little edgy and nervy, isn't it, this match?
It's actually what Kyron was saying he hoped would happen, isn't it? He said he hopes they sort of take pieces out of one another in a match like this.
Foul, miss. Judd Higgins 4, yeah. Judd.
Well, he got very close to it, we think, first one. I think it was only the pace that allowed it to go in. I always felt it would struggle, that one. It really did think about it, that red.
Eight.
This was from the pocket. Yeah, just that last drop. Of course, it would have been hanging in the jaws for Trump had it stayed on the lip.
9. 16. $17.
Yeah, not bad. He had to come, as he knew, fairly close to the black there, but a little bit of left-hand side took it away from the black. Very gentle cannon. And he knows that the right-hand red goes, and as he was looking earlier, I don't think the other one does.
24.
Not worth the risk. I think the left-hand red, he's unavailable. Has a look at the scores, but he'll know that there's not really much in it at this early stage.
25.
Pretty good shot, but, you know, he noticed the blue wasn't on its spot. It's so easy to play as if the blue is on its spot on those shots. It's got such a natural way of playing up. I just feel that John is sensing here there could be, you know, a big turnaround if he could find his way in front in this match. Having been 3-1 and 4-2 down, it will feel quite big.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he's here 4-4 with Trump in the semis seems remarkable considering what's happened. Chris Wakelin missing that red in the decider. Yesterday, Zhao Guodong seemed to collapse from 5-2 up. In this match, Trump was making all the running. Higgins is sort of, it's been a bit like a man sort of crawling through the desert looking for a drink of water. Well, he may end up getting it. He's still here fighting. It's been a real Herculean effort just to be at this position. And if he can raise his game from here, then he could well get the job done, put himself in the final.
38. $39.
So too far for blue to middle. Trying to recycle things off the yellow.
Yes, I think the only red, as you can see, the left-hand red is the one he could get on.
40.
He wanted to be over a bit further, though. You know, he saw the shake of the head. He knows that he could miss this.
It's there, John.
Not a particularly appealing shot that he's been faced with here. Cue ball's going to hit another ball on the way through to presumably the black. And the pot is not simple, and he's stretching all sorts of things. And he
John Higgins.
kind of told you the dangers. He made it look even worse. He got absolutely nowhere near that. He really did overcut this quite badly. So,
What?
plenty of moments in any snooker match, but here feels a chance that Judd Trump could really do with taking. Can he get into the bunch of reds? If he plays the yellow, he's got a biggish target to open them up. Beautiful. And he played it with a lot of control. It's a shot that you feel like you want to hit with more pace than that because it gives you better options, but it was beautifully controlled. That could be a real game changer.
Yes, for all the talk of centuries, it's breaks like this from behind in matches where you're under pressure, where the other player's got the momentum that really can change things back in your favour.
John's still kicking himself to how he got into the position he did. It's been
12.
the story of the comeback that, you know, he's not had the cue ball under complete control always. On that occasion, he couldn't pot his way back into position.
$90. $20.
Well, the audience recognising this is probably the most important phase of play all evening.
That's a better shot than it looked because he really had to get into that cue ball. The reds are quite a long way down the table and he would have hit that blue a little bit more pace than perhaps usually on that sort of shot. And obviously the green is going to play a part. As a left-handed player, of course, Judd will be able to lean across if he can get from yellow to green, because all of that is going to be needed. He can't win the frame until he crosses that bridge, I suppose. There'll be a few in front, perhaps.
33. $34.
This frame is a long way from being over. I know Trump is at
40.
the table, which is, of course, giving him the advantage, but it's not a certainty he'll win it here.
$42. Cheers, John, thank you.
Gone a bit far. It may not make a lot of difference. He'll be playing sort of mid-distance from yellow, from that right side. So the next shot, not necessarily this blue, but the yellow to green is a very big shot in the context of the whole match. If you can get position.
$47. $49.
Wow. Thought he might play him behind it. There's a lot of risk in the shot he did play. He gets some applause, but he's not necessarily made it an easy clearance from here. John will know straight away with this shot. He's right behind the line of it.
52.
That is a fantastic shot, I think. I really think he played it well. The cue ball coming all around the table, up and down.
Surely this is the shot of the night from Judd Trump. 10 in front, so he needs brown and blue.
$56.
Oh, he needs a bit of help here. Oh, goodness me, look where he's landed. Right in the middle of two different shots. He'll have a little chip at this into the top left for the frame and take the cue ball away from it. But really, he shouldn't be quite in this position after what's gone before. He's worked so hard. He's got one more shot to play here.
Yeah, the crowd right behind the pocket were applauding as it headed their way. Big, big break to make. Not the highest of the match, but for Trump, surely the most important. John Higgins making the running. Just one slip up from him. Well,
Just
not
Trump.
quite done.
61.
It's one snooker to tie.
He took a gamble, Trump, I think. The yellow to green to play not behind it and try and cannon it instead. You know, you can get the cannon without being able to clear up from there. The shot on the green was absolutely superb, I thought. Green to brown. Very important break. We know all the centuries he's made, but I think that was worth its weight in gold.
Yeah, doing it under pressure. And he has been put under that by Higgins, but Judd Trump responding. The usual thing here, you're sort of lagging the ping in or over, making it more difficult for Higgins to get this snooker with just one ball to snooker behind. Well, that certainly doesn't help.
Judd Trump 6. And the frame.
And he has conceded. Big, big frame in a big, big match. And once again, it's advantage Trump. My word, he's been made to work for this. But he is back in front. 5-4. Here we are again, another late night thriller at the snooker. We had one last night, but well, this was a huge shot, wasn't it? He'd brought the green out, he'd taken a gamble, but then what a shot, green to brown from Judd Trump. The blue was tough as well in the end. He finished close to it, but he made that break. It was 61, not the highest of the night by any means, but the most important thus far. It's got him 5-4 in front. It's just stopped the Higgins charge. John Higgins has given this tournament everything, and he'll continue to do that. But he now knows he's potentially just one mistake away from being knocked out.
When he comes back.
Just waiting
Where
for
are we going when he comes back?
Judd Trump to return. Remember, the final tomorrow, best of 19. 2 sessions will be on air at 1:45 with the first of them, and then 6:45, of course, for the finish tomorrow night. Kyron Wilson, I'm sure he's quite happy that this match has ended up being quite lengthy. Could be lengthier still if that man there has anything to say about it.
Yes, I mean, you still feel he's
Take
in the
your
match,
seats,
clearly
please.
at 5-4 down. And get himself into a decider, then of course he can win it, John, and he's been battling all week. It would be no different.
Thank you now. Thank you. The 10th frame. John Higgins to break.
Well, the audience are loving it and would love, I'm sure, to see 2 more frames. John Higgins would be in that camp as he breaks off here. 5-4 down.
I suppose the fact that he got in first in that last frame with that 41, and then he had quite an awkward shot, didn't he? He was stretching, he missed it by a mile. He lost the strength, really, in the frame that he was holding with one shot.
One.
And now Judd Trump looks rejuvenated, having won that frame. Great shot this, pure striking. Perfectly on the black. looking at the black spot there, Judd. He looked surprised. It will spot. He was concerned it would not. And he looked up the table to see if any other spots were free. But it does go anyway. Yes, he didn't want to play the little cannon and push that red down onto the black. What a wonderful chance this is for a player needing one more frame to make the final.
$16. 17.
Yeah, looking to reach his 5th ranking final of the season. He's won 2. The 2 he lost in both finals, he lost to Kyren Wilson, the man waiting tomorrow.
$24. 25. 32.
Well, at worst, he's got the red to the middle pocket, and I think he's looking to see whether the pink potted to the opposite corner, which it does. So even though he didn't quite get the previous positional shot right, it's not affected him.
Just give us a sec. Let's just
Now, Ross Spencer was looking at the middle of that bunch. He'd be horrified if it had to go in there, because that was a referee's worst nightmare, I should think. I mean, how on earth do you put that in there? I think it will go in there as well.
Yeah, Judd Trummer having a seat. I don't blame him. Yeah, this is a delicate old business for Rob. No pressure, Rob. All eyes are on you.
So now we'll put the other red back, and then he'll try and make the adjustments to the pink. But if nothing else, it just might slow Judd down a minute. I think he's going to do the job well. I'm not surprised about that.
Yes, it's not only the players who need nerves of steel in this game. That pink has to be in a line. It can't touch a ball. It's be in a line with the spots. Yeah, good job.
39. $40.
Well, there might be a red that goes. The other alternative, of course, is to go into the bunch. But the top red, the angle of it's not a certainty you'll be on one if he plays that. So he's playing around the angles. So anyway, he slightly overhit that. It's quite handy, perhaps, that he got that nudge. The red to the right did not go into the same pocket, so that was a handy little kiss on the red.
$46.
Yeah, we saw in the previous frame a not dissimilar
53.
passage of play where Higgins got that lead, he missed that ball. Now Judd, is there anything even on? Could be end of break this. He wants to keep the break going, but how can he? There's nothing there. They're all in each other's way. A dangerous table as well, in that there's absolutely nothing
53.
safe on it.
Yeah. The danger is that Higgins does to Trump what Trump did to Higgins in the last frame, make the clearance. But anyway, 53-point lead. Looking for one more chance, I guess, now to get this one. So the pressure is still on John Higgins here.
Well, he made the mistake. The cue ball is not the worst for John in that it's in an awkward spot. But this, he caught the red much too thick. The cue ball swung further to the left than it was anticipated. And now, the opening pot here for Judd is not easy. He plays that left-hand red at the top. That's really tough. Played the long plant. He didn't want to get involved in that other red. But John escaped there a little bit from the mistake.
How many more snooker bullets can this man dodge this week?
Well, that's a good shot. He has just covered the red below the yellow. Yeah, it's a dangerous shot to play, isn't it? You know, John is likely to have a dart at this long red here. I mean, if this goes in, he's right back in with a chance. He's a little concerned that should he miss the red up into the yellow pocket, that he would leave something to the left middle. But he has to play it, I think. There was a lot resting on that shot. As you saw, it does go up into the same pocket John missed in.
One.
It kind of feels like match ball, even though he has to continue the break. Yes, he had the luxury there of being able to just swing the cue ball up the table for that red.
8.
You'd have to play a little drag shot or a holding shot. And surely, from here, you feel he'll get over the line.
9.
Yes, he played well in his first 2 matches, but tonight he's had to play well when put under pressure. And he has played well, 95% pot success. He's excellent. That clearance in the last frame, that was the one that turned things back in his favour. Now it's just keeping things simple for the next minute or so. As he approaches this red, if he pots it, John Higgins will need a snooker, but he wants to make sure here, doesn't want any playing on.
15.
So it looks like the rivalry between Judd Trump and Kyren Wilson will be renewed in the final. For the record, it's 13-12 to Trump on the head-to-head. It's very tight. It's very closely fought. And Neil, it's eagerly anticipated.
It is. We've seen great rivalries over the years, but the modern-day rivalry
23
is nothing to do with the class of '92. It is Kyren Wilson and this man Judd Trump, and I can't wait for it. It's going to be an absolute blockbuster.
Judd Trump.
John Higgins' great run here comes to an end. He gave it everything. Trump the stronger at the finish. So the Players' Championship final will be between the 2 outstanding performers of the season. Judd Trump, the world #1, against Kyren Wilson, the world champion. The battle for supremacy on the World Snooker Tour continues on Sunday.